growing up, I didn't have the advantage that a lot of guys have now of having a phone and a cellular phone at that. And you can actually save all your contacts on there and there's pictures. When I was growing up, you had to at the most get a girl's number on a napkin, and then you had to maybe call her from a payphone, or it was a mess. It was a mess, but it definitely made my generation a lot stronger now because we were not dependent on a device to keep all of our data. Because right now, I probably wouldn't be able to call anyone without looking up their name. And back then you actually memorized numbers. And I say that to say that I've developed a system way back when that you get a girl's number, and that number, you actually had to get it on a napkin or a piece of paper, and then you actually transfer it to what would be like a little black book or a book or a notebook. And you obviously don't want to pull that notebook out. And when you get that girl's number and put her in the list of a bunch of girls. So you actually, get it and then you transfer it. And then I started doing something extra. And what I started doing was I started adding other information into that notebook. So other information such as her birthday, what she was wearing that day, color hair, any data that I could get that day. What was her dog's name, where she's from, every piece of information. When it was fresh in my memory, I would jot it on my notebook and I would dedicate a whole page to her and all of the data that I gathered. So that helped me. So when I would call her or have a conversation later on, I remember details that probably most guys wouldn't remember. So that was kind of like my cheat code. And it's not really a cheat code because I'm really actually spending the time to make her feel special, right? Because I'm taking the time to remember things. And it's hard to do if you don't write it down or put it on your phone. It's hard to remember things and little details that actually matter. So that system I started developing really well, where I had Zodiac sign, I had birthdays, and then there was data that I wanted to input with every conversation. In every conversation, I would log that into the notebook and say, okay, today we talked about this and her favorite fruit is whatever. And then it became like a profile of this person where I really felt like I knew this person. And if I needed to refresh my memory, I can go back to that notebook and check out the data. So fast forward to today, we have phones and all of that. And what I've done with the phone is, there's notes, for example, in your contact app, there's basic things. You have your name, maybe email, maybe you may have a birthday. There's some data that you can enter there. And then there's a notes section that I use a lot. And this comes from sales. I'm pretty good at sales. So the reason that I'm good at sales is because I'm able to capture details from, the potential clients. I'm able to capture details that later I can bring out and use, to my advantage. So I started doing this with the phone, and the contacts, it's cumbersome, right? Because you can't access the information easily. It's mixed in with a million other things, and it's very distracting and it's hard to use. So I was like, you know what? There's got to be a better way. There is. That's the reason that I created the SeductionPRM app. So the SeductionPRM app, it's a CRM. Like CRM is a client or customer relationship manager, and it's used in sales. You call someone and you want to sell them a timeshare, and then they say no, and you log that in, you call them back, you already know they say no. So basically you create a history of being able to contact this person, and then also follow-ups, because there's also, when you're in sales and you start sending them, maybe they didn't answer, so you send them an email that goes into the system, said, an email was sent 2 days ago. Maybe you send them a text, and then a text was sent and it said this. So you start gathering all this information. You create a profile for in sales. So in seduction, it's no different. So basically, SeductionPRM stands for personal relationship manager. So it's not a customer, it's not a client, it's personal. So it's a personal relationship manager. And what it does is allows you to put the same exact information as your contacts, such as your name, email, phone number. Then you can put your social media on there. And then it goes above and beyond that, because now I have designed, and this has been months and months, if not more than a year in the making, and a lot of feedback. And I've spoken with psychologists and different people that help me sort of hone in what needed to be in this app. So in this app, there's other fields beyond the basics. So you're talking about how you feel about this person, right? What's your attraction level? And then there's a rating system there for you. There's other fields such as, where is this person from? Where are their parents from? There's also, anything from levels of education to, what is the attitude of this person? What is their favorite sports team? What is their favorite color, their favorite food, favorite movie? All of this data that you start gathering and you start inputting it into this profile, and you actually have access to a wealth of information that people give us freely. We're not prying this out of them. They actually want to give us, they want us to know about them. So on top of that, one huge development that actually delayed the process of this application was AI. So when AI came about, it was like, okay, if I could find a way to put AI with this information and let it analyze the information, this is the app. So this is the app. SeductionPRM is the app that's going to be able to take the data that you gather and analyze it and customize it for you. So it's going to let you know some of the key elements that you need to know about this person, red flags, green flags. It's going to really, really go deep. It will have the ability to go into these person's profile on Instagram and search them on Google. It's going to be able to gather information based on their pictures and their history and what it finds. And it's going to be able to come back and give you an analysis on, this person is like this, that. And it seems that this person may be blah, blah, blah. So the best way to approach this person is this way. It's amazing. I am mind blown by this application because it's something that I didn't have growing up. And if I had this growing up, it would be a whole different world for me. But what happens in this application on top of this is that it has a profile for you. So this profile allows you to first, because I think before you even go into seduction, and if you're looking for that one person or you're looking for the many persons, you need to know you and you need to know what you're about, what you like, what you don't like. And a lot of us guys don't take the time to really figure out who we are first and then who we're looking for. And if you define these two things, everything else is just crystal clear. So the app is going to help figure out who you are. And it's going to, based on your personality, based on the choices that you make, it's going to be able to analyze your patterns, your messages, your information, how you communicate. It's going to be able to see where your strengths are, where your weaknesses are, and it's going to be able to guide you in some things that you could do to improve yourself as a person. And then you'll have your ideal profile where, based on who you are, AI is going to be able to suggest, based on the fact that you're these are the type of people that probably are going to be the best match for you. So once you do those things, people that you meet, that you input into the system, AI is going to be able to give you a percentage of a probability of how likely is that this is going to work. And obviously it's probability, but it's better than just going blindly into relationships and into wasting time with people that are not worth your while. So if you have a moment and you would like to explore this application, I'm still in the beta phase of this. A lot of work is going into this and a lot of moving pieces are here, but I am super excited and I would love it if you would try it. And if you find anything that resonates, let me know. If you find something that needs work, let me know. Whatever it is, the feedback is never unwanted. Like bring the feedback, because that's going to make it better for all of us. So I wanted to give you a little bit of background on how this application came about and where it's going. This application eventually will become a tool for, maybe it'll help you avoid some heartbreaks. Maybe it'll notice some patterns or some red flags that you were not aware of, and it'll bring them up to your attention. And you're like, okay, let me be cautious here. Or maybe it'll make you appreciate someone that you were not looking at them in that perspective. And maybe AI is able to take who you are and the person you're looking for and that person you met and somehow find a connection there for you. So I'm excited about it. If you want to try it out, go to seduction.one.one and just input your information there, and you will get a link to the application so you can download it, try it out. You can create an account, and hopefully it's useful for you. And I'm really excited to share this with you. So if you know someone that should have this application, please share this and subscribe to the podcast, Seduction Tech, seductiontech.com for more.